What's up, guys? SkullBoy StarCraft here. Gonna cast another match between Rakanishu, the orange Zerg, and me, the green Protoss. A little bit about the players. He is my friend. I believe he plays Diamond as far as team games. He plays, I believe, Gold or Platinum as far as 1 vs 1. He normally plays Zerg. I am a mid-level Platinum player. I normally play Protoss because Protoss is awesome and much better than all of the races. And the map is Steps of War. I really like this match as far as this map as far as PvZ matches, because very short rush distance, so it is pretty challenging if the Zerg player does decide to rush, because by the time his Zerglings are out, you're generally just warping in your gateway or it's just finishing, and it's just really hard to defend against this early Zerg rush. One of the things I want to note with this scouting probe is I do have it run away, and then right there I turn it around so he doesn't see it and try and hide it in the corner, because then after the game has progressed for a little while, I'll send it in and I'll get some mid-game scouting. Now, right now, pretty standard play from Rakanishu. He is getting, I believe, a 15 pool and a gas, and standard play by me. One of the things that you want to do as Protoss generally is try and wall off your ramp against Zerg, because that will stop any Zergling run-bys. Basically, all you do is you put your pylon back here, put your gateway here, and then your cybernetics cores the other part of the wall, and then get one zealot and have them block the little entrance that's left, because that will stop Zergling run-bys and will discourage pretty much anybody from trying to bust into your wall. And the reason you put your pylon back here rather than up here with the wall is because a Baneling bus could easily take out that pylon, and then Zerglings are in your base, and nobody likes Zerglings inside of their base. Very unhealthy, very detrimental, and very annoying. Do want to note this positioning of the Overlord. He is moving it up here. I have not seen this Overlord yet, so I don't know where it is. I don't know that it's up here, but he is moving it into position to scout if I take a natural expansion, or he might be able to run it in here and sack it to get some late game intel. Now, I do run this probe in here. I don't see much. I should have waited a little bit while. I just see that spawning pool, but I do see the timing of the Zerglings, and there goes my frame rate. For some reason, it keeps dropping a few seconds. Anyways, I do want to chrono boost out the Zealot, because I don't know when these Zerglings are going to attack. I assumed that they were going to attack right away, but he does wait a little bit to drop down a Roach Warren. Again, the production tab. That's not the production tab. The production tab, I am getting another gateway. I am getting Warp Gate Tech and a Sentry. Sentry is very powerful and slightly underused units. You can hold off a rush or split the enemy's army in half. And note the rally points. I don't just want to set it there because it will start out here, and more on that later. I do drop a force field out, but I don't put it all the way across so the Zerglings can run past. I wanted to get the ramp completely blocked off so my sentry could snipe some Zerglings. But they do try and sneak up here to try and take out this wall, and my sentry will have none of it and tries to zap a few Zerglings. He does get 2 kills out of that. Warp Gate Tech almost done. I am going to get a Twilight Council up, and he is going for a Lair Tech. Now, one of the things I want to note is I haven't really scouted at all. Kind of hard for a Protoss player to scout unless he hides like a probe back here. And like I said before, I did move that probe out a little bit too early. Did let me see that Zergling timing, but I would have had that Zealot up. I wouldn't have had the Sentry, most likely, but I did have that Zealot up. He is getting some roaches out. Looking at the production tab, I am going to get a Templar Archives. Very underused unit, the High Templar. They're very powerful in pretty much any matchup. The Psystorm is a very powerful ability, albeit underused, but if you use it correctly, it will cause massive damage to the opponent. Now, neither of us really want to engage each other head-on because it is going to come down to a test of micro, and the Zerg player will have a harder time at taking out my army than I will have of his, so he does pull back, and I do pull back because I don't really want to try and engage that head-on because I don't want to take a lot of losses. That's one thing you want to consider taking out a Zerg player is, even though you take out his army, he does have the ability to remass that army very quickly, much faster than any of the other races, especially Terran. Protoss not so much once you get warp gates, but they are able to make their army much faster than any of the other races. Now, I don't know if he has taken his natural yet. I don't know if he's got lair tech. I haven't really scouted. I should probably have made a robotics facility get a observer out, but from seeing this heavy amount of roaches and some zerglings, I am going to assume he hasn't progressed the lair tech. But he has, and that's one of the problems with not scouting. I do see this changeling, and my High Templar is going to follow him around, trying to stop him, and he is going to get zapped and killed as he dies a painful, painful death. Now, I do want to note, he did scout everything I was doing. He saw my entire base. He knew that Firestorm was on the way and everything. But I did drop down a Stargate and a Gateway because I figured a Stargate probably wouldn't be expected, and one of the counters to storms is mass roaches, and it really isn't a hard counter to storms when you're playing Zerg, unless you want to go for Ultralist tech. But that's so far away I didn't even worry about that. But I did get some Stargates because I did assume he was going to go mass roaches, so I could go in and I wanted to try and snipe some of these overlords of phoenixes. I am going to engage his army. I do force field. Do note that I can't see over there, so I can't drop a storm. But I do drop a storm right there. It caused massive damage to his roaches, and my zealots are going to try and clean this up. I do see that drone transfer, so I do know he has taken an expansion here. Now, that drone transfer was very untimely for him because I would have never scouted over here, which would have been a blunder on my part. You really want to always try and at least keep a probe or something by these Zelnaga watchtowers to scout for these high yields, for these sneaky fast expos. He is going to try and kite my zealots, but it's really hard to kite charge lots. As 3 roaches go down, the 4th roach, his friends are dead. He's going to go mourn by this little palm tree or whatever it is. I am going to try and do some more come in and do some more damage. Neither player is really producing. He does drop down 5 roaches. I have set up a pylon here so I can warp units in here whenever I want to. I don't know if he scouted that yet though. No, he has not scouted that yet. He does not know that's there. This thing a lot of Protoss